entirely independent organization that is still domiciled in Nigeria.
You said?
An entirely independent organization. It's not going to come from outside Nigeria, is it?
You see,
so how independent is that organization going to be?
The difference is that if as a member of the House of Assembly, I want to do consultation with members of my constituency, then I can decide whom I want to invite to the forum. I will decide who should participate, who should attend that forum.
Okay,
let's just say it is referendum. It has its format. Are you a registered voter? You know, just like that. So there is a process already in place.
Isn't that restrictive?
No, it's not. It's not restrictive.
The question now is, how would you fund the referendum if it's not in the Constitution and in the budget?
How will you fund the referendum?
Yes, would you fund it from the state or the federal point?
You see,
how would you?
If you say there's a referendum, the National Assembly, is it not the house that is charged with responsibility of passing the budget? They know how they do. So
will it come from the first line budget?
They will do supplementary budget.
They will do a supplementary budget.
Yes, that's what they will do if they believe in it. That has happened before now. That's what they will do. You see, I'm not saying, I want to say again that I'm not saying that the position of the National Assembly is wrong. That's why I said the NBA that suggested having a referendum is right. Also, the National Assembly that is insisting. So I'm not condemning the position that they have taken so far because they want to go strictly by what the law says. But the Nigerian Bar Association is insisting that if you want this process, because don't forget again, Nigerians have issues with those who are in the National Assembly. We all have issues with them, you know.
But the law doesn't.
Well, the law doesn't. That's why I said that it is not. Sometimes it's not what is lawful that is expedient. We talk about political expediency. Even in the case of Shagari at that time, the Supreme Court had to rely on political expediency in the determination of who won the election of that year.
Yeah, but it was ultimately determined by law.
Well, law using political expediency, and that was why they said, well, this will not be a reference point. For future election. The decision in that case. So I'm saying that, look, yes, you are right. If you say this is what the Constitution says, but again, would you have offended the position of the Constitution if you say I want to hold a referendum?
Is it an all or nothing for the NBA? Because it seems that the stand of the NBA came out like a shock to the members of the National Assembly.
No, I don't think it's an all or nothing. The NBA has also, what the NBA has done is just to make its position known on the issue of the amendment of the Constitution. But I think beyond the issue of referendum or what the Constitution says about the amendment, the question again is that do we actually need that amendment at this point in time? Given the fact that just last year or so, the Constitution was amended after it had barely been operated for 12 years. And as I said, you see, the purpose of the Constitution is to address the history of the people, the challenges they have had in the past, which they don't want to have repeated again. So now, what experience have we? Just 13 years. Does it now mean that every year we are going to be amending our Constitution? Are you sure there's even any need for that amendment? Are you sure that somebody is not profiting?
Let's ask you then. Yes. Do you think that there's any need to amend this Constitution?
So. Our problem is not the Constitution that we have. Now and again, we always want to tinker with our Constitution. Don't forget in the first, but people are now saying that we should go back to parliamentary system of government. When we have parliamentary system of government, you see, political philosophers are saying that no, that we have that because of the multi-ethnic nature of Nigeria, the presidential system will be the appropriate system that we should operate. And so they suggested the amendment of the Constitution so that now we have presidential system. People are now saying that we should go back to parliamentary system. But you and I know that it is not the rule that is our problem. It's those who are operating the Constitution, those who are charged with implementation of the rules.
So all this talk of true federalism, fiscal federalism, there's absolutely no problem with it.
You see now, what we have, the issue of federalism, we have challenges in that area. But I'm saying that,
and it's not traceable to the Constitution.
I'm saying that what happened to didn't they amend the Constitution last year?
And there was no referendum.
Was there no problem with that? No, there was no referendum. You see, listen, I want to remind you again that I'm not saying that the position of the National Assembly is wrong. No.
So both of them are right.
Yes, I'm just saying that if somebody is suggesting that, look, even though this is the minimum that the Constitution has recommended, and we have sought to conform with that minimum, what would you lose if you go extra mile in order to build maximum consensus? Let us have referendum.
How would that work? Take us through the process of holding a referendum. If you were to happen, you were talking about, are you a registered voter?
Yes, you have a Heineken, and it's just like an election. You know, you get people to vote on key elements that the House want to insert in the Constitution. I mean, the national.
No, how would you gather these people?
Yeah, the elements first. How would they come about the elements?
How they come about the elements?
Yes.
No, you see, now the National Assembly, before they think of amending the Constitution, they have areas that they feel deserve to be amended.
But it's the people that got to submit.
Now you now bring it. Yes. Now you now bring it. The ordinary process that we have in place now, like consultations going on, like this constituency thing you are talking about. After that, the outcome of all of that exercise, you now submit to a referendum. This is our proposal. This is the section that I want to amend. You get Nigerians to vote on it.
How do you convene the people for that referendum?
That would be the duty of what do you call it? INEC can do that. INEC can do that, just like we have in respect of elections.
Okay.
That can be done by INEC.
All right then.